They called it the Sea of Time. The endless dunes stretched as far as the eye could see, shimmering under a sun that never set. But the sands weren't still. They flowed, rippling like water, shifting and rearranging in patterns no one could predict. Entire villages had been swallowed whole, their inhabitants vanishing without a trace. Still, people lived there, drawn by the promise of the treasures buried deep beneath the moving sands. I was one of them. Our caravan had been traveling for weeks, the sands constantly shifting underfoot. Every step felt like walking on the edge of a dream, never solid, always threatening to dissolve. The elders warned us to move quickly, to never linger too long in one place. The dunes had a way of remembering, they said, and once they remembered you, they wouldn't let you go. On the 6th day, we found it. A city, half-buried and ancient, its spires jutting out from the golden waves like the bones of some long-dead beast. We approached cautiously, the air heavy with silence. The city's streets were eerily pristine, as though it had been frozen in time the moment it was swallowed by the sands. "This is it," Yarrick, our leader, whispered. "The treasure's here." We fanned out, digging through the ruins. I found myself drawn to a small, circular chamber at the base of one of the spires. Inside was a mosaic, its tiles glowing faintly in the dim light. The pattern was strange, almost alive, shifting and changing like the dunes themselves. I reached out to touch it, and the world lurched. The ground beneath me gave way, and I was falling not down, but through. The air was heavy and strange, filled with whispers that scratched at the edges of my mind. When I landed, the sand beneath me was no longer gold but black, sparkling like crushed obsidian. I wasn't alone. Figures moved in the darkness, their forms indistinct, like shadows cast by an invisible light. They didn't speak, but I could feel their presence pressing against me, cold and insistent. "Who are you?" I demanded, my voice trembling. They didn't answer. Instead, one of them stepped closer, its hand outstretched. It held a single grain of sand, glowing faintly. The whispering grew louder, more urgent, filling my head with half-formed words and images. Cities rising and falling, people walking the same paths over and over, their lives swallowed by the shifting sands. "This is yours now," the figure said, its voice like the rustle of wind over dunes. The grain of sand landed in my palm, and the world shifted again. I was back in the chamber, but everything was different. The mosaic on the floor was gone, replaced by smooth, featureless stone. The city outside was silent, its spires gone, swallowed completely by the sands. The caravan was gone too. I stood alone in the endless desert, the grain of sand still glowing in my hand. The dunes around me began to shift, faster now, swirling in patterns I couldn't comprehend. I realized then what the elders meant. The sands had remembered me, and they wouldn't let me go. As the dunes rose around me, I held the grain of sand close, pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat, and I understood. The sands weren't just moving, they were alive, and now I was part of them.